Hi there, my name's Taya and I run the craft program at the Live Oak Public Library, and today we wanted to bring you our October monthly craft. We are going to be making these pumpkin cork decorations today for the upcoming fall season, so let's just dive right in. So the materials you're going to need for today's craft are 25 assorted corks for the large sized pumpkin. You can do more for a bigger pumpkin or even less for a smaller pumpkin. And I just have a variety around this big. The second material you're going to need is some green felt, some jute, orange paint. I cut out a leaf pattern to help me create my leaves. That's an optional material. You don't need it, but it's just a little helpful. You're also going to need a paintbrush, hot glue and a glue gun, scissors, a serrated knife. Straight pins, yet again, are optional. If you're using the leaf pattern, these will help you to secure it on the felt before you cut it out. And then a cup of water. So the first step in this craft is to go ahead and gather all of our corks, and you're going to be using 24 out of the 25 corks that you have collected. So you're going to go ahead and set one cork off to the side because we're going to need it later. So we're going to go ahead and start building the pumpkin shape, and our bottom row has 4 corks. So you're going to go ahead and grab 4 of them. And the way I'm going to arrange the colors is I'm going to do some purple, some cream, and some orange, just to kind of give it a fall color pattern. So you want to make sure you go ahead and have those the way you want them. And if I'm going to paint one orange, I'm going to go ahead and put the cream side, because these are purple on one side, cream on the other out. So it's easier to paint over. So you can go ahead and assort those. And I think that that's probably a good bet for my bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it together. So I'm just going to put a straight line down one side with the hot glue. And I'm going to stick the second cork to it. So there's 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a second line right here. And stick our third cork on. And then our fourth and final cork on the bottom row can go ahead and be stuck on as well. All right, so there is our bottom row, and now you're just going to set that off to the side and let it dry completely. The second row is going to be 5 corks wide, so you're going to go ahead and gather those and repeat the steps. The third row will be 6 corks wide, the fourth row will be 5 again, and then the fifth and final row will be 4. So now we're on our second row of 5. So we're just going to go ahead and repeat the process with the glue gun and stick all of our corks together. And I've already got them arranged in the color pattern that I want, so it's just gluing them. So we're going to go ahead and do this entire row. So the first step is just repeating this on all of our layers of our pumpkin until we have the complete pumpkin shape. And that's our second row. So we're going to go ahead and set this off to the side as well. So I went ahead and glued the third, fourth, and fifth layer off camera. So here they are. Here's the first one. Here is the second layer, our third layer, which is 6 corks, our fourth layer, which is 5 corks again, and our fifth layer, which is 4 corks again. So now our next step is to go ahead and glue all of these layers together to secure our shape. So we're going to go ahead and just take the hot glue gun, and I'm just going to go down each cork just to make sure there's a lot of glue on there. And then we can go ahead and stick our next layer on top of it. And just push down to make sure that it glues on there. And we can go ahead and repeat this with this layer. Just put some glue down every cork. Maybe some just along the middle. And then secure our next layer on. And then it's just going to be the same thing for the next two layers. So now we have our pumpkin shape, and our next step is to create the stem you can see in these pictures right here. And that is where our extra cork comes in handy. So this is also where you're going to be using the serrated knife, and you're just going to go ahead and kind of decide how big you want your stem to be, because it looks a little silly when it's this long. So I think I'm going to make mine cut right about there. So you're just going to go ahead and saw into it with a serrated knife. And we'll see if that looks good. And I think that's a pretty decent size. So we're done with that, and we're just going to set that to the side as well for now, and you're done with the knife. Okay, so now that our pumpkin and stem are done, our next thing we're going to do is go ahead and create our leaves. So I told you earlier that we had cut out these two templates right here for our leaves. That's just going to make it a little bit easier for me so I don't have to freehand it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cut out two little squares in our green felt. Okay. And we're just going to put the rest off to the side. So we're going to take our leaves and the straight pins, and we're going to secure them onto the felt, just so they won't move. So you're just going to stick it through and then back up through the other side, just to make sure when you're cutting the leaf won't move. And I'm just going to do two on each leaf to keep them in place. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and cut these leaves out using our scissors. So I went ahead and cut out my leaves and removed the straight pin. So as you can see, we have two leaf-shaped pieces of green felt. And I made them in two different sizes just so they're not exactly the same, and the shape's a little different too, which is perfectly fine. So now we're going to go ahead and secure those to the top of our pumpkin. So we're going to take hot glue, and I'm just going to lay mine kind of like this, kind of facing the front a little bit, just so it will accentuate the pumpkin a little better. And we're going to go ahead and glue those down. So we're just going to put some hot glue on the top of the pumpkin and stick our felt down in it. So now we're going to go ahead and secure our stem on top of the leaves too. So you're going to go ahead and get your hot glue on there, and you probably want to really pile it up on this one just to make sure that it's secure on there. And then place it down. And I'm just going to really mush it down in here and make sure it's on there good. Okay, so our stem is on the pumpkin now. So one of our final steps is going to be to go ahead and create the bow that's going to be on top of the pumpkin. So we're just going to take a little bit of craft jute and cut it probably about this long, because I'm going to wrap it a few times, and I can always trim it if I need to. And we are just going to go ahead and create our bow like so. So I'm going to push it all the way down to the bottom, and I'm just going to wrap it a few times around. So then we can take it to the front and create our bow. And you can go ahead and play with it. You can do a different type of bow if you know how. I'm going to secure this with hot glue just to make sure it doesn't move and make sure the sides are even with a little bit of trim from the scissors. And I will be right back. Alright, so our bow is on and secure. So our final step is going to be to paint some of our cream colored corks orange, just so we can give it that fall Halloween-y feel. So I've got a paintbrush here and some orange paint, and we're just going to dip it in. And we're going to kind of scatter them around, and we're just going to paint some of them orange. And you can do a lighter coat or a thicker coat. It's completely up to you. I think I'll probably do just a variety. And you're just going to paint your selected corks orange. Alright, so I have painted the corks that I want to orange, and I did do that on both sides just so it's not as plain on the other side even though there's no leaves. If you wanted to, you could even add leaves over here and another bow so it could be reversible, but that's completely up to you. So that is today's craft, and now you have a cute little pumpkin decor, and you can make these in various sizes, various colors, however you want. It's your creativity. So thank you so much for attending today. We hope you enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you next month. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out more from Swanee River Regional Library in the future. Thank you.